All right, guys. Today we're going to talk about the psychological effects of Cistanche, which is a desert flower from China. It was one of Genghis Khan's favorite herbs, which says a lot about what it can be used for, and has a lot of use in this modern day. It's got a few mechanisms of action, and what I really like about it is it works on my two favorite systems, which is dopamine and testosterone, androgens. So basically, those two systems, dopamine being your motivation, your drive, the molecule of going out there and getting things done, and testosterone being the male sex hormone for competition, going out there, getting things done, drive. They're both related to each other and they have a relationship. So when you find something that works on both of these things, then it's going to be quite powerful. And I don't really know of anything else that quite hits both of these things in such a nice and sustainable way. So first of all, with Cistanche, what does it feel like? You can be taking Cistanche, and basically it feels like you have it in the bag. You have the situation in the bag. It's like a motivating force, but also a confidence that comes with it. Right. So immediately after I started taking Cistanche, the next day I woke up with noticeably higher sex drive, and yeah, that was my first noticeable effect of Cistanche was an increase in libido and sex drive. That in itself is a interesting thing, because what is libido and what is sex drive? Anything that's a drive is something that's going to move you forward. So you could look at libido and sex drive as energy, as life force, chi. All right, so woke up with a bit more sex drive, and what that means for me throughout my day is I'm going to be thinking a little bit more of things that motivate me. Whether that's women or material possession or achievements. I just noticed I was actually thinking more and more about the things that actually excited me, but it was in a positive and exciting way. I don't know about you guys. It's probably, a common thing, but you might find that there's different fuels that will motivate you. At some points in your life you can be motivated from fear, from inadequacy, low self-image, and that can get you out of bed and get you going with things. What I liked about Cistanche was it motivated me from a very positive place. It made thinking about my goals and ambitions a nice thing. It was something to look forward to. I was sort of, fantasizing about things I wanted to achieve in a very practical way, using the mind for what it's actually most useful for, which is a creative tool. So that's some of the psychological effects I was experiencing. Physically, what it felt like was I did noticeably have more energy straight off the bat. More energy, could last longer at an activity, wasn't getting tired and fatigued, and I'm doing very, very physical work. So I climb up a mountain and I lay rocks in a trench at the moment. I'm building eco walking pathways. So it's pretty physically demanding, and I'm training for a fight on top of that, as well as doing my standard body fitness stuff as well in the morning. So I've got a pretty demanding physical lifestyle, about as full on as it gets. So when I noticed taking Cistanche was having more energy and being less tired, that means a great deal to me, because that makes up a lot of what I'm experiencing most of the time. So if I can, really redline my activity and not feel so drained and bashed up for it, then that's a significant improvement for things. What else with Cistanche? So sleep. Sleep is noticeably better taking Cistanche. So I do a split dose of Cistanche where I take half of it in the evening before I go to bed, and I take half of it in the morning when I wake up. Pretty simple. That way, you're actually getting the effects of Cistanche at nighttime when it's rebuilding and secreting different neurotransmitters and actually producing the hormones. You're also getting it in the daytime as well when you're going to experience the actual effects of those things. So that's why I find it useful to do a split evening and morning dose. What else with Cistanche? So anything that will increase, say, testosterone, luteinizing hormones in general, there's various different ways that can happen. So without going into the details of how Cistanche secretes it, that's a different video. One thing that is important to take with Cistanche is cholesterol. So cholesterol is the precursor and the substrate that's used to create testosterone in the body. So when you're taking something that's going to increase testosterone, you also want to be taking the things that produce the actual testosterone as well. It's pretty straightforward. So in order to maximize the benefits of Cistanche, I eat 4 eggs a day in the morning, every morning. There's other benefits of that as well, but basically that's a nice dose of cholesterol. As well, eggs have every nutrient that's required to start a life. So there's a lot of life force, there's a lot of good energy and nutrition in eggs. It's a bit of a side tangent, but it goes really well with Cistanche. Together it's a nice little combo. So getting back to Cistanche and how it feels, you kind of just walk around feeling like the man. There's a video of Arnold Schwarzenegger from Pumping Iron when he's talking about lifting weights and how he's coming all day in the gym, and he's coming when he goes home and makes love. And I just remember that scene and just seeing him sort of ooze that sort of feel-good masculine testosterone vibe. And I'd like to say that that's kind of how Cistanche feels. Kind of feel like the man. And when you're doing things that are difficult, you feel like it's nice. It's nice to be doing those things that are difficult because you're the man. You could be doing a hard workout and pumping it, and you're not doing it because you're insecure. You're doing it because you're the man. Every rep, you're feeling that squeeze. You're feeling that juice flow into your muscles. When you're at work, you're thinking about what's ahead, why you're there. It's like a positive, motivating, fantastic substance that basically puts you into forward momentum and feel good in the process of doing it. There's some other benefits of Cistanche as well that are lesser known, and that also comes down to testicular detoxification, as well as detoxifying from plastics. So, as you probably know, there's a lot of plastics and microplastics in the modern lifestyle and diet, and those plastics are endocrine disruptors because they sort of mimic the shape of real hormones, like estrogen, and they stop your actual hormones from binding to the receptor sites, like plastic clogging something up. If you could imagine having glue in the lock, you wouldn't be able to get that key inside the lock very well. So that's what these plastics do. Now, Cistanche has been shown to be able to detoxify the body from plastics. I'll go into a separate video on that another time to actually lay out the science of it. But it's pretty much an all-round, I'd say, necessity for the modern man. Feel great taking it, psychologically. You feel great physically taking it. You recover faster from workouts. You have a little bit more power in the gym, and it's actually a mood enhancer as well. You know, so you feel rather happy to take it. Anyway, that's a bit of an overview of Cistanche. I'm going to make some more videos on the specifics of its mechanisms of action, as well as protocols and other things. In terms of side effects, I have not personally experienced side effects from Cistanche. I have not spoken to anyone who has experienced side effects of Cistanche. If there was going to be side effects of Cistanche, they usually come down to your digestive process, so maybe feeling a little queasy. It can happen with just about anything, but Cistanche feels pretty good. Even better so than, say, Tonkat Ali, which can make my gut feel a little funny for about half an hour at times if I haven't eaten enough, especially. As well with Cistanche, the dose that I'm taking at the moment is 400 milligrams of an extract at 50% echinacea sides. It's related to echinacea as a plant. So yeah, echinacea sides at 50%. That's how I like to take it. With any sort of herb, standardization is a important factor. It's not to say that you can't get benefits out of something that is raw or not standardized. However, when you're buying from companies, say over the internet, you don't know where they've been manufactured. You don't know how those plants have been grown. So when you can have some sort of standardization process, then you kind of know what you're taking. The problem if you don't do that is, say, you know, you could take something with a very low content of what actually makes a substance active and, you know, just write that whole herb off because you didn't think it worked. I've seen that happen with Tonkat Ali. So that's why I personally, I'm taking a lot of different sources of the herbs that I find useful and evaluate the efficacy of those herbs for me personally, as well as some of my clients. And I'm also putting together a formulation for androgen support and for neuro support, like a nootropic. So more on that later. But yeah, for now, go out there, get yourself some Cistanche and give it a go. Thanks.